So you've probably played around with AI chatbots, right? We're all getting used to them. But the game is changing fast. We're now moving into the world of AI agents. These are tools that don't just chat, they actually do things. We're talking about AI that can get into your systems, update your ERP, manage your CRM, and organize your entire team's schedule. This is a massive leap forward in power. But you guessed it, it also opens up a whole new can of worms when it comes to risk. And that right there is the million-dollar question every business leader needs to be asking themselves. As you start bringing these incredibly powerful tools into your company, are you hiring the world's best assistant? Or are you accidentally plugging in a massive liability? Because that line between the two, it is razor thin. I mean, look at this. It really shows you the two sides of the coin. On the one hand, you have an absolute productivity powerhouse. This thing can automate tasks you never dreamed of. But on the other hand, if you don't have the right controls in place, you're rolling out the red carpet for huge security risks. We're talking about shadow AI, where your employees are using unapproved, unsecured tools, or even worse, a simple mistake leading to accidental data deletion. That can be catastrophic. And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. Would you ever hire someone and on their very first day, before you've even trained them, hand them a master key that opens every single door in your building? No way, of course not. But that's pretty much what a lot of companies are doing right now. They're giving these powerful AI agents the keys to their most critical digital kingdoms without a safety plan. So what's the solution? How do you get the power without the peril? Well, that's exactly what the Secure Protocol is for. It's your AI safety playbook. We're going to walk through it step by step. First, we'll lay the foundation. Then, we'll cover how to ensure you have total control. We'll even see what it looks like in action. And finally, we'll talk about securing your company's AI future. All right, first up is S for standardize your tools. The idea here is really simple but incredibly important. You have to lock the version of the AI software you're using across the company. So the whole point here is to prevent something called version drift. You know how software is always updating in the background? Well, what if an update changes how your AI handles sensitive data? That could open up a brand new security hole you didn't even know about. The action is straightforward. You pick one single setup, you test it, you approve it, and you call that your gold standard. Then you block everything else. No exceptions. Okay, let's move on to the next letter, E, for establish a central registry. This is all about creating one single source of truth, a master list of every single AI tool that is approved to connect to your systems. And the goal here is to completely wipe out shadow AI. The rule becomes simple. If a tool is not on that official list, it gets blocked. End of story. And how do you enforce that? You make it mandatory for every single AI agent to have a human owner, someone who is responsible for it, and a clearly documented purpose for its existence. No owner, no purpose, no access. Simple as that. Now for C, create distinct identities. And listen up, because this one is absolutely critical. You can never, ever let an AI agent log into anything using a human employee's credentials. Why is this so important? It comes down to one word: traceability. If a critical record in your database gets deleted, you need to know, without a shadow of a doubt, if a person did it or if an AI did it. The only way to guarantee that is to give every single AI its own unique digital ID. You treat it just like another employee account with its own name and its own very specific, very limited permissions. Okay, we're halfway through. Next up is U for Unify Permissions. This just means you need to plug your AI tools directly into your company's main identity system, like your Google Workspace or Microsoft Azure AD. What you get from this is total centralized control. If an AI agent starts going haywire, you don't want to be scrambling around trying to find 10 different places to shut it down. By unifying permissions, you have one big red button. You can kill its access instantly from one dashboard. And the key action here is to live by the rule of least privilege. That means if an AI is supposed to draft emails, it should have exactly zero ability to even look at your financial records, let alone change them. Next up, R for record everything. The analogy here is perfect. You wouldn't run your company's finances without a bank statement, right? So why on earth would you let a powerful AI run wild in your systems without a complete digital paper trail? The huge win here is catching weird behavior before it turns into a complete disaster. You need to log every single thing the AI does. That way, you can set up alerts for behavior that's out of the ordinary. For instance, if an agent normally touches, say, 5 files a day,
and suddenly it tries to access 1,000 files in 60 seconds, your system should be screaming, flagging that as a major red alert.
And that brings us to our final letter, E for enforce safe actions. This is all about being proactive instead of reactive. It means building in approval gates for risky actions and, you guessed it, always having a kill switch ready to go. Look, the goal is common sense. Stop huge mistakes from ever happening in the first place. Anything high risk, like deleting data, spending money, or sending messages to all your clients, should be blocked by default. The AI can get the task ready, but it shouldn't be able to execute until a human being reviews it and clicks approve. And that kill switch? It's non-negotiable. You have to have a way to pull the plug on any agent instantly. All right, so we've gone through the whole secure acronym, but what does this actually look like day to day? Let's check out how it works in practice with something called a safe action list. It's actually pretty intuitive. You just create different tiers based on risk. So tier 0 is for safe stuff, like drafting internal notes. That can be always allowed. Tier 1 is low risk, maybe drafting a supply order. That just needs a quick manager check. Then you get to tier 2, which is sensitive, like messaging clients. That's going to need an executive to sign off. And finally, tier 3 is for high-risk actions, like deleting records. Those are blocked by default, period. They require the highest level of approval to even attempt. So let's do a super quick recap of the entire playbook. You standardize your tools. You establish a central registry. You create distinct identities for each AI. You unify permissions under one system. You record everything. And you enforce safe actions. That's it. That's the secure protocol. SECURE.
Now, I get it. Putting a framework like this in place can feel like a lot, especially if you're trying to do it on your own. So if you feel like you could use some expert guidance to get this right, the team at Rushtree AI Optimization specializes in exactly this. You can reach out to them by emailing support@rushtree.com. Just make sure to put Secure AI in the subject line, or you can just text Secure AI to 917-746-2202. Look, this isn't just about preventing a disaster. It's about building a solid foundation of trust that lets you confidently and safely unlock the incredible power of AI. You have the playbook now, so the only real question left is, are you ready to use it?